you see several states that people think, well, that must be Arkansas, right? Texas. No, they mean Washington, D.C. And this is in 1913 when this is laid out. So this is 121 years later, 124 years later. And it's without, this is a direct tax, and it is without regard to any census or enumeration, as opposed over here that it had to be laid out with the census. So the way this is reconciled is you're protected. The Constitution protects you, always has protected you. I got two daughters that will be protected their whole life. They're 19 and 20, well, should be 23 in a couple weeks. They've had jobs since they've been 16. They don't live in Washington, D.C., because this is what it's about right here. Well, I'll get into that in a minute. They don't live there in Washington, D.C. They don't work for the federal government. They have never entered into a contract. They have constitutional rights. In other words, with no contract in place, they can be assured the IRS isn't going to knock on their door and says, we see you haven't been filing taxes, you see. You owe us money. It doesn't work that way. Everything works by a letter in the mail because they don't have jurisdiction to even lay foot on your land. They just do it from Washington, D.C. They send out these letters. And then because we sign them, we give them jurisdiction. And let's explain that. So the educational ministry here that we talked about, we cycle through these topics on these morning talks. So how the Federal Reserve Act, which is what gave the bankers the money supply in December of 1913, the biggest scam of all time, the biggest Ponzi scheme of all time, December of 1913. And the 16th Amendment in February of the same year, they were passed in the same year. They work harmoniously together to trick people to file tax returns and to owe the money. How the 16th Amendment was a tax on the federal government itself. The trick here was it's called a federal income tax because it's a tax on the federal government. It is not a tax on the the citizens in any of the republic states, as we looked at in the Constitution a minute ago.